Hi, good morning. I wanted to share something that I was woken up in the middle of the night in Ballarat when we were there a few weeks ago, and I shared it the next day in the morning on the Saturday, I believe the 14th of October. And anyway, what I saw was the spirit, and I saw in the spirit, I was observing from outside one man on the operating theatre, and it had like a white sheet over him, although apparently the arms were missing. So there was a group of family and friends round about, and I happened to notice this too. And I was like, Lord, why are you showing me this? Why are you showing me all this picture? And so what I recognized is the Lord was saying, well, what does arms represent? Because I saw that it appeared this man or this person that was lying there had no arms, and I said, well, what is the Lord saying? What does the arms represent? And then straight away it's like, okay, the arms are meant to function. The arms are meant to shake someone's hand and say peace. Arms are meant for work. Arms are meant for praise and worshiping God. Arms are meant for loving and embracing people, and all these things. And look, I just really recognize that in the dream that God was really showing me that these arms that were there are there for a reason, and without the arms, the body can't function to the fullness and the full capacity that it's supposed to be. And then later on, I fell asleep with that thought, and I woke up, and I was reflecting in the spirit, and then God showed me that men and women around who are believers are waiting for permission to preach, or believe it's only for special anointed people that have to come from overseas or interstate and come and show us that they're anointed and look what they're doing, and that they're just there to listen and be spectators or just watch what the anointed man is doing. But God was showing me that we don't need permission from anybody to preach. We don't need permission to get out there and tell others about Jesus, to get out in the harvest and to make time throughout the week, disciplining ourselves to make it our aim to share our faith with as many people as possible, to make disciples. Matthew 28, it gives us, Jesus gave us this authority, gave you this authority, gave me this authority. Says, I've given you all authority. Go into all the world and preach the gospel and make disciples and baptize them into my name and teaching them to observe these things. So really, Jesus is commissioning us to do this. That's what the arms represented, that we got to recognize that we got to work in conjunction with one another, and everybody, one of us can do it, and get into a 3/3 meeting of Bible discovery weekly, and be actively, intentional about goal setting and praying for our oikos, getting out in the harvest, doing the 3 circles, praying for the sick and see them healed. Because if we really love someone and have compassion, Jesus demonstrated that that's how people were healed, and the demonic powers couldn't hold it into people, because Jesus walked in love, and that's what God was showing me. So I want to read from Romans 8 to finish off with. It says, focusing on the self, verse 8, is the opposite of focusing on God. Anyone completely absorbed in self ignores God, ends up thinking more about self than God. That person ignores who God is and what He's doing, and God isn't pleased at being ignored. Verse 9 to 11, but if God Himself has taken up residence in your life, you can hardly be thinking more of yourself than of Him. Anyone, of course, who has not welcomed this invisible but clearly present God, the Spirit of Christ, won't know what we're talking about. But for you who welcome Him, in whom He dwells, even though you still experience all limitations of sin, you yourself experience life on God's terms. It stands to reason, doesn't it, that if the live and present God who raised Jesus from the dead moves in your life, He'll do the same thing that Jesus did, bringing you alive to Himself. When God lives and breathes in you, and He does, as surely as He did in Jesus, you are delivered from that dead life. with His Spirit living in you and me, your body will be as alive as Christ. So don't you see that we don't own this old to-do-it-your life on one red cent? There's nothing in it for us, nothing at all. The best thing to do is give it a decent burial and get on with your new life. God's Spirit beckons. There are things to do and places to go. So my friends, my brothers and sisters in Christ, let's do the things that God has called us to be. Disciples of Jesus require us to be disciplined with our time and not get caught up off guard in this time. Let's exercise faith and allow God to use you as an ambassador and to use me as His representative, so that we could all be ministers to reconcile those who don't know God back to God. Bless you and the Lord keep you. I hope this helps a little bit in reflection to recently being in Ballarat 2 weeks ago. Be blessed.